Hi Rush Nation, welcome to Rush TV. On today's show, we're keeping warm and cozy at Tim Hortons, the official coffee of your Saskatchewan Rush, as we look back at these last action-packed weeks. From home games to road games to even a trip back in time to 1910 Boomtown. So let's get started with when your Saskatchewan Rush took the momentum of a home opener win to the West Coast. First time playing Rogers Arena, and the Saskatchewan Rush coming hot.
An outside shot from Thompson scores just 17 seconds in. Rush offense on the floor for the first time. Dinsdale with a shot, and he scores. Matthew Dinsdale makes it 2-0. We're not even a minute into this opening quarter.
Warriors goaltender Aaron Bold getting worked by his former Rush teammates.
And a shot from Matthews, and it trickles through Bold and into the net. It's 3-0 Saskatchewan.
And we're not done yet.
McIntosh shoots and scores, found room between the legs of Bold, and McIntosh has his first of the evening.
While Rush goaltender Evan Kirk holds it down between the pipes.
Malcolm back in the lineup, throws it down low, gets it in front, Malcolm shoots and Kirk denies him.
Time for a change. Vancouver Warriors bring in goaltender Eric Penny.
Great start for Eric Penny off the bench. Here's a shot on goal, Penny makes the save.
Still no match for Jeff Shattler.
With a shot, he scores. Just able to beat the shot clock. Jeff Shattler is on the board.
Trailing 5-0, the Warriors now fired up on a power play.
Give it up. Mitch Jones with the interception, walks in with a shot, and he scores!
Former Buffalo Bandit Mitch Jones gets his first of the night. Vancouver's Tony Malcolm and Brandon Goodwin cut down the lead. It's 5-3 for the Rush to end the first. Kirk with some big saves to start the second.
Denied by Kirk. And now a wide open man in front for Salt, and he's stopped by Kirk.
After 3 Rush penalties, Saskatchewan finally on their first power play.
That is how you drop a power play, folks, and it's Ben McIntosh.
It's kind of power play you show your novice, your peewees, your bantams, your midgets textbook. And that's a beautiful skip feed from the point. Matthews down to the crease to McIntosh. Quick stick from about 10 feet out, 12 feet out, right the back of the net.
Jones answers for the Warriors.
In front for Jones, and he scores!
But the Rush get another power play.
3 Matthews behind the back to Shattler, he scores!
A behind-the-back feed by Mark Matthews nets Shattler his 300th career goal.
Do they teach that in lacrosse school?
Trailing by 3, the Warriors step up with back-to-back goals.
Steal off the face-off reporter. In all alone, shoot, score!
Now within 1, Ryan Keenan just waiting to bury that one. The Warriors respond, making it a 1-goal game at the half. Early in the third, Jordan McBride ties it up for the Warriors with his second of the night. Penny putting the stop on the Rush offense.
McIntosh winds and fires one off the left arm of Penny.
But if anyone has an answer,
McIntosh in the middle fires and scores.
He'll get one for you when you need it.
Ben McIntosh with his third of the night, earning hat-tricks now in 3 consecutive games. And he's not done yet.
Here's Keenan, back behind the net, and what a diving effort. McIntosh scores his 4th of the game, and boy, that was a pretty one to put his team up by 2.
Benny Mac just floats from behind the net and tucks it in the top shelf.
Robert Church with the feed on that one. Church ending the night with a total of 6 assists after missing the game a week earlier due to a wrist injury. Rush lead 10-8 into the 4th. Evan Kirk making the Warriors work, but can't stop Jones, who gets his 3rd of the night. Now watch this.
Across the floor, McIntosh, Knight shoots, and he scores! Off the cross.
Vancouver challenges the call.
And then it crossed the line, so
it's a good challenge.
Yeah, it's a good challenge. 4th quarter, you're either in a 2-goal hole or 1-goal hole.
After review, the ball enters the goal on the initial shot prior to the shooter entering the crease. We have a good goal.
Rush taking charge.
Matthews who shoots and scores. Of Eric Penny. Well, they're saying didn't touch him now. Dunked behind the net before the shot clock expired. What an effort from Dinsdale. I'm not sure Penny was expecting it, but it's a 13-9 lead for Saskatchewan. In transition, off the bench comes Mitch Jones, who gets the pass, cuts to the middle, tries a shot off the shoulder of Kirk. What a save. Gonna pick it up with a gaping net. Poor Beal throws it towards McIntosh, looking for his fifth, and he scores.
McIntosh going back-to-back with 5-goal games. Jordan McBride closes out scoring with his third of the night for Vancouver. The Rush earned their first road win of the season, Evan Kirk making 40 saves for a 14-10 finish over the Warriors. That first win on the road put your Saskatchewan Rush at 2-1 for the season. It also marked a major milestone for our main face-off man, Jeremy Thompson.
When it comes down to the basic fundamentals of face-off, definitely want to have two hands on your stick, and you want to have a nice, well-around balance across the floor where you can react in any way.
The lacrosse face-off is an art, one Jeremy Thompson has mastered with his focus on mind over matter.
It's really a reaction kind of game where you want to have your mindset. Guys want to be pumped up before the game, but for me, one of the things that I found that's helped me out was just to kind of be calm and, kind of steady.
It's the approach Thompson brings to all aspects of his game, and it's proven. Thompson has now become only the 4th person to surpass 1,500 face-off wins in the National Lacrosse League.
It's definitely a huge milestone for me. Just a dream come true. I think as a lacrosse player, growing up in a small town, upstate New York, I think for me it's just all about what you put in behind the scenes and all the work that goes in.
Drafted by Buffalo in the second round of the 2011 NLL entry draft, Thompson was traded to the Rush after just 1 season. He quickly became the team's main face-off man. Since 2015, Thompson has finished either 2nd or 3rd in the league in face-off wins. In 2016, he had a career high, 279 face-off wins for a career best 56.9 face-off win percentage.
He works hard at it. He takes a lot of pride in it. It's just one facet of his game. Really good defensive player now. He's worked hard at that, and he obviously brings a lot in transition. He's a guy that we can put on offense if we have to.
Transition. Here's Jeremy Thompson all the way. Takes the shot, scores!
He's at the front end of face-off specialization, elevating what used to be just an extra job in lacrosse. Now players like Rush defender Mike Messenger are coming into the league already equipped with a unique skill set.
I've grown up taking face-off my whole life, and so when I got here, I knew I might have a slight opportunity, but knowing Jeremy's on the team taking the draws, that I didn't expect to do much, but still now I'm learning lots from him, and he's teaching me new things, little things. We're starting to get a routine going between the two of us, which is awesome. There's so many little things that he does that people don't realize. It could be the slightest movement of one hand, and up, down, left, right, and I try to watch that as best as I can and learn as much as I can from him.
Thompson is no stranger to teaching.
Strongest part of my body and heaviest part is my chest here. I'm getting over here like this.
He hosts clinics at home and abroad to share face-off knowledge with up-and-coming players.
Definitely want to be a good role model, represent yourself in the best version of your self, and just teaching, sharing that knowledge, because it's something that was passed down, to me. I didn't want to withhold it. I just want to kind of make the people around me better and make the sport better, really.
Congratulations once again to Jeremy Thompson on clocking 1,500 face-off wins. I think I'll celebrate for the both of us with this Tim Hortons Saskatchewan Rush donut. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, it's the return of Darien Durant, the former Saskatchewan Roughrider and 2013 Grey Cup champ, takes in his first professional lacrosse game. and later. How Rush Nation has come together to support 2 Saskatchewan families and their brave young boys.
There are names here that go way back, building this community, generation after generation. We are Mosaic, and we add our name to theirs to tell a story of innovation, of sustainability, of strength. Day after day, our commitment reflects our employees' efforts to create a legacy we can all share. Together, we can see tomorrow from here.
Imagine there I was eating lunch when suddenly I get this shooting pain. Turns out I needed a root canal. Thankfully, Blue Cross had my back.
If you're retired, self-employed, or don't have group insurance, you can count on Blue Cross. We provide coverage for many medical expenses that may not be fully covered by your provincial healthcare plan, like dental, prescription drugs, vision, registered therapists, and more. Visit our website or contact your insurance broker.
I feel like I belong in 1910. I threw on the costumes and instantly they look like a perfect fit. I can really play the part and blend in. You know, my co-star Robert, he was phenomenal as well. He felt really comfortable with that gun in his hand. Yeah, it was a little different than the previous time I've learned about Saskatchewan and social studies in high school. Definitely cool going from each decade, from 1910, go from the 20s to the 30s and the 40s, and kind of seeing the whole story of the family portrayed in the museum progress, and then also seeing the machinery coming from the coal train to the coal tractors to finally moving towards gasoline, and then during the Great Depression kind of taking a step back and having those Bennett buggies. It was just super cool to get a first-hand experience and seeing it in real life, what everything kind of looked like and felt like, and really taking the whole atmosphere of what it's like to grow up in the 1910s.
Typically, our photo studio is by kind of request, so if you call ahead and let us know that you're interested in having a portrait done, we can set up an appointment and a time.
3, 2, 1.
The church is our only original structure, so it was disassembled and reassembled here in the museum, whereas the other buildings on Boomtown Street are recreations.
It transports you back to that time, and you can understand how our province and our city was settled, and then what they had to go through when they were creating our province and our city. For families, it's really cool because there's a lot of like kids stuff you can look at, but they also get the learning experience. It's really magical being here.
It was a blast going through Boomtown, and there's so much more to explore we didn't even get a chance to show you. There are Western Development Museums in Saskatoon, Yorkton, North Battleford, and Moose Jaw, all showing different sides of Saskatchewan history. Well, one man who's a big part of our football history signed a one-day deal with the Saskatchewan Rush. Take a look at how 2013 Grey Cup champ Darien Durant took to lacrosse.
It's just all about focus, guys. Lock in and focus. No plays off, all right? Just mentally. Just beat them mentally before you even get out there, and then it's over, right? It's all about winning. Win on 3. 1, 2, 3. Win!
I'm just excited. I've heard so much about the atmosphere here. It's a great team that they put on the field each and every game day, so I know it's going to be a great night, and I'll be watching some great lacrosse.
My next gig.
I think they have the right mentality, and I think they'll not only win this year, but more to come. To feel the love from the fans, not only just the football fans, but the lacrosse fans, and just thankful for the Rush for bringing me in here and having me here on such a great night. This just shows you how Saskatchewan fans are. They're the best in the world.
It was great having Darian join us for a Saskatchewan Rush game and pass along some sage advice to our defending champions. Now, that same night, as the temperature dropped to -28 outside, the Rush threw a beach party inside. The players brought the heat on Co-op Field at SaskTel Centre in a rematch of the 2018 NLL final against the Rochester Nighthawks.
Back here at SaskTel Centre as we put a bow on this one, and third straight win for the Saskatchewan Rush. We look at some of the highlights from this one. Ryan Flaherty here with Jake Elliott, and another clinical performance by the Rush.
Yeah, it took the offense a little while to get started here, only putting up 6 in the first half, and they only put up 6 in the second half, but really I think it was Evan Kirk tonight, and it was their power play tonight that kind of steered them to victory here this evening over Rochester.
Keenan and Matthews, and the goal scored by Ben McIntosh. You talk about Ben McIntosh coming in with the hot stick, but of course this Rush team has so many different weapons. Ben taking a bit of a back seat this evening, but Robert Church and Mark Matthews each contributing 6 points.
Yeah, that's okay. You know, that's what makes a championship team. When a guy's having an off night, whether it's Shatler or whether it's Curtis Knight or Dinsdale, they have other guys to step up in their place. Keenan, Matthews, Church, and they just keep coming at you in wave after wave after wave, and it's hard to focus on just 1 or 2 guys because they have 5 or 6 that can put the ball in the back of the goal.
Once again, the story, the second half for this Rush team. They have done a tremendous job of shutting down opposing attacks in the second half this season. And again tonight, just 2 goals against in that final 30 minutes.
Yeah, again, I go back to Evan Kirk, and I think he was a real catalyst. But I think you also got to give Derek Keenan some credit. He has been a master of making halftime adjustments for this team.
We've got to clean up our transition to defense again. We gave up 2, and, you know, stay out of the penalty box as well against them. But overall, pretty good. They're competing really hard.
But I don't think he's satisfied with their starts right now, and I think that'll be another focus of attention leading into Georgia and Toronto over the next couple of weeks.
Let's switch gears a little bit and talk about the Rochester Nighthawks, because a team that was in the championship series, it took it to a 3rd game last year. They got that opening win. It was against an expansion Philadelphia team, and since then, nothing but defeat.
Yeah, you know what? This is a veteran Rochester team. They have had some turnover, but they still got guys like Jamieson and Campbell and Dawson that are going to lead the way, and there's not going to be any panic in this Rochester team. They're a team that's led by Mike Hazen, who has been up and down through this league. He's won championships as a coach, and he'll get the ship turned in the right direction. And when it's all said and done, I think you're going to find the Rochester Nighthawks in the playoffs. And as we know in this league, you get in the dance, anything can happen, and still a long way to go in this season. And I think the Nighthawks are going to be just fine.
And there's a lot of veteran leadership in that room as well. It doesn't necessarily have to come from the coaching staff. You've got some guys who have spent a lot of time on this Nighthawks team, so perhaps it's up to the players to maybe rally the troops.
Yeah, and I think you'll see a little bit of that. I think the message will be delivered from Mike Hazen that, hey, we weren't good enough tonight. We've got to be better. I think you're going to see a couple of roster changes come for the next couple of weeks for Rochester, see if they can kind of shake up the chemistry a little bit. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, the players have to look themselves in the mirror, and they have to be better, and I think they will be.
Got Tanner Fetch down with our player of the game, Mark Matthews.
Thanks so much, guys. I'm on the floor with Mark Matthews. What was it, 4 goals, 5 assists for you tonight? Describe your performance for me.
It was just a good team win. I mean, coming out at 6-5, going into the second half, and getting the looks we did, and you know, we just have such a great offense that, you know, anybody can go off at any time.
How good does it feel to defeat the team that brought you to Game 3 last year in the NLL Finals, but come out with the win here in the regular season?
It's awesome. I mean, I think they beat us 3 times last year. You know, they ended up 3-2, but you know, it's nice to get a win against the East. They're a strong division, and we just got to keep going.
The final score once again here from SaskTel Center: the Saskatchewan Rush 12, Rochester Nighthawks 7. On behalf of Tanner Fetch and Jake Elliott, I'm Ryan Flaherty, and you have been watching the National Lacrosse League on BR Live.
It was incredible. The reality is, with quite a number of new faces back there, it's every game we've gotten better, and tonight was outstanding. I mean, we only gave up, I think, 2 5-on-5 goals. That was it. So the second half, they had 2 power play. One was a transition power play goal. So that's really good. We caused a lot of turnovers, put pressure on them the entire game, played our system to a T. We talked all weekend about, you know what, we need a shutdown defensive game, and that's what we got. And I love when they play that way. Kirky was really good for us too. So you know, and on the offensive end, like I've always talked about, like, you know, 2 weeks in a row, Ben McIntosh got 5. Tonight we spread it out, and Mike Messenger got a couple from the back end, which was bound to happen eventually. Yeah, you know, because we've had lots of opportunities in transition, but tonight we executed a little better. So really good effort overall.
I just got to read the defense in those situations, and tonight it was my opportunity, I guess, to get those transition opportunities and breakaways, and lucky enough to put the ball in the back of net a couple of times.
As the final seconds of this third quarter tick down, and Mike Messenger, what a shot!
It's only game 4. There's always, every game we're trying to improve and be better as a team, so I think tonight as a team we played very well, and we can always improve for next game moving forward.
Mike Messenger just comes down the floor, leans into this one just inside the restraining line, goes with the bouncer into the top corner. It's 11-5. Saskatchewan with 2.5 to go in the quarter.
A big win for the Rush, who are now 2-0 at home. It was also a big night for some very special children and their loved ones, who are now part of our Saskatchewan Rush family. While little Austin and Leo face challenges every day, they show us what it means to be resilient with the champion's spirit.
Usually our trips to Saskatoon are for appointments, so to come up for just something fun is really nice.
After a 3.5-hour drive from Melville, 5-year-old Austin Hollinger is happy to be in Saskatoon. Just 6 months ago, Austin was diagnosed with a cancerous tumor at the base of his skull. 1 week later, doctors in Saskatoon performed an 8-hour surgery to remove it. With radiation and chemo treatments ahead, Austin's aunt and uncle wanted to get him something special.
A stuffy or a plush Hulk figure, because Austin's favorite character happens to be the Hulk. They didn't have one at the Rush store, so they contacted me and they told me the situation that Austin was in and asked if I wouldn't mind paying a visit to him at the Ronald McDonald House. And I thought, absolutely, got to make this happen.
It was the beginning of a superhero friendship. Because of where the tumor was located, 2 days after surgery, Austin was diagnosed with cerebellar mutism syndrome, affecting his speech, emotion, muscle tone, and movement.
And then it was just a roller coaster. But yeah, we're doing okay right now.
What I've seen, like, they're not alone. You know, you get that financial problem that's so costly. You're in and out of Saskatoon all the time. It's really amazing how people come through when, you know, a tough time like this.
Calvin Ohms used his platform as the Rush Hulk to organize an auction night fundraiser for Austin and others. Soon, more Rush fans added to the cause.
What better platform to use than that, and to reach out to these families and try to make a difference.
But this night, January 19th, 2019, is one for Austin's family and others to simply enjoy.
The Prairie Mobile MVP experience is something that we began at the start of last season, and really we approach families who really need a special night out and some young kids who are battling all kinds of different things in their life. We give these families and these young kids a night out that they'll never forget. We take them to the game, they meet the players, they get autographs, they meet Bruiser, Hulk, they are set up with popcorn, drinks, sends them home feeling great.
For Crystal Loptic, being at a Rush game brings back memories. It's where she told her parents she was pregnant with Leo.
We went down to the merch booth and bought the smallest little jersey they had. In the middle of the third quarter, I just gave my mom the bag and said, open it up, like, see, look what I bought. She held it up, I was like, oh, it's for the dog. Oh, that's really nice. So I said, Mom, it's not for the dog. Oh my gosh, and then it clicked.
Crystal and husband Adam were thrilled to welcome their son, but joy turned to uncertainty in the delivery room.
We knew something was wrong right when he was born. The doctors looked at me and said, like, we don't know what it is, but it's something, so okay. They were taking him to the NICU right away. We didn't get to hold him. I think day 10 was the first time we got to hold him.
It was a very difficult time, just with his diagnosis being so rare. Like, we were given a couple different prognoses, and some of them were, you might not survive this first year.
Leo was diagnosed with epidermolysis bullosa, EB for short. The rare genetic disorder makes skin extremely fragile, blistering or tearing with even the slightest friction.
When he came home, he still had pretty extensive wounds throughout his body. We had to learn how to take care of them, how to dress them, how to keep them clean to prevent infections.
It's looking a lot better than it was actually a couple days ago.
Thought has to go into everything we buy for him. Like, we can't just like, oh, grab this, that'll work. Like the shirts, you gotta make sure they stretch right.
EB can also cause internal complications and even impact major organs.
He had to get a surgery in the summer to get a G-tube placed. He gets a lot of sores in his mouth, so he was unable to take his bottle. So learning how to kind of navigate that and take care of it and feed him that way.
Ready, set, go!
Through it all, Leo has thrived. In March 2018, the Saskatchewan Rush invited the family to experience their first home game together.
That game, they played a little snippet of video and our page on there. It was like all of a sudden there's this community and this outpouring, like so much more than we had ever thought we had.
Crystal and Adam hope that by sharing their story, more people will know about EB and help fund life-saving research.
There's some really good trials and stuff going on, so it's hopeful that if not a cure, there'll be some form of treatment in the next couple of years. So now's kind of the pivotal time to get people on board. The other hope I have too is that people just stop and look at Leo and see him for who he is. Yeah, he's covered in bandages, but he's just the same as any other kid his age.
We come from a unique place where Lake Country could be your own backyard or hundreds of miles away. There's urban, suburban, country, proud. We are unique, and our networks are too. Built, owned, and operated with pride. These are your networks, Saskatchewan. We built something amazing, and 6 years of awards prove it. Over the next year, SaskTel is investing over $300 million into your networks to keep connecting you to what matters most.
Some traditions are universal, like dreaming of the road ahead, the joy of arriving at your destination, and remembering the people you shared those moments with. We make sure those memories are clear, because no matter where life may take you, Glassmasters is part of your journey.
Welcome back to Rush TV. We're still enjoying our time here at Tim Hortons. I finished that Rush donut earlier, but I'll definitely be getting more with my reloadable Saskatchewan Rush Tim Hortons card. Now, when we left off, your Saskatchewan Rush were on a 3-game win streak and heading to Georgia, where they'd face a team battling to avoid a 3rd straight loss. It's a Sunday matinee and the Georgia Swarm take off early, clocking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 goals in the first 7 minutes. It's birthday boy Mark Matthews who steps up to claim the first Rush goal of the game. The Rush also pulled goaltender Evan Kirk for backup Adam Shute.
Save from Shute, rebound from Thompson, save again, Jackson, save, 3rd time from Shute.
The early Swarm lead stings the Rush, who trail by 5 after the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd quarters.
And we were really sloppy in the 1st quarter, a lot of turnovers, more of a transition game then. So I think we've responded well to that. Now we're getting some really good looks. We just got to figure out pooling, and we're back in it here.
Now time to mount the comeback. In the opening minute of the 4th, Mark Matthews and Jeff Shatler grabbing a rebound to fire one in, score 25 seconds apart.
Jeff Shatler gets the rebound and just lets it fly and beats Poulin. And now we're down to a 3-goal game.
But the Rush aren't going down without a fight. Marty Dinsdale pockets his 3rd to make it 12-8.
Dinsdale now with a hat trick. There it is.
Now closing in on the Swarm, defender Matt Hossick races down the floor, uses Dinsdale as a decoy before firing one in.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I'm sure there's probably a lot of people watching who are saying, why is that defender not guarding the guy who has the ball?
But that's as close as the Rush get, while Shute gives an admirable relief performance, finishing with 27 saves.
Sent in the corner, shot save from Shute.
The Swarm hold their own defensively.
Big save from Poulin, and McIntosh comes up with the rebound and sends it over to Sellers. Shute is running back, Sellers running forward, shot, score!
The Georgia Swarm take this one 13-10 over the Saskatchewan Rush. The Saskatchewan Rush have a quick turnaround, just 5 days until their next road game against the Toronto Rock. A tough loss for the Rush, but what an effort by backup goalie Adam Shute. Now the Rush will be back on Co-op Field at SaskTel Center for a very special home game. On Saturday, February 9th, your Saskatchewan Rush host the Calgary Roughnecks for for the first Battle of the Prairies this regular season. The Rush last met and beat the Roughnecks in preseason action. February 9th is also Lacrosse Day in Saskatchewan, presented by the Saskatchewan Lacrosse Association and Subway. Join us as we celebrate the growth of lacrosse and showcase our young athletes across the province. And don't miss the all-new Rush Hour podcast, hosted by Jake Elliott. The first episode is out now with guests Grandma Rush, Jeremy Thompson, and Derek Keenan. Until next time, I'm Daniella Ponticelli. Go, Rush, go.